CEO of Leaderology, as well as my friend, Marissa Waldman. One thing that's been a point of conversation between Marissa and I for a while is a certain song. And the song came out around 2006. And it was written by a musician who at the time was on tour. And he was in a hotel room and he was flipping through the different news channels. And he was frustrated. And the news channels were talking about whatever iteration the U.S.'s involvement in the Middle East was at the time. And he felt frustrated. And he wanted to do something, but he was young and didn't know what he could do and didn't feel like there was anything he could do. And the gates were being kept and the doors weren't opening. And so in song, he had an idea, and his, what I say, lament of frustration at the time became the only thing people my age can do is wait on the world to change.
I hate that song.
Why do you have qualms with that song?
Oh, you know, John Mayer may be a poet and a musician, and I actually like his music, but that song is stupid. And I actually prefer Gandhi's approach, which is much more about be the change you want to see in the world. And sitting back and waiting on the world to change is not going to happen. To your point, that song was written in 2006. Had he, 19 years ago, gotten off the bed in the hotel room and maybe did something, maybe we would have had a little bit of change since then. But a whole generation of people sitting around waiting on the world to change is just, it goes against everything I believe in. And that's my bottom line, and that's why I hate that song.
In one of our texts a couple months ago, as we were discussing the current state of America and things that had transpired, I was reminded of a passage from a book written by Leonard Woolf, Virginia Woolf's husband. And he wrote this, and I shared this passage via the text and then asked Marissa a question. And Leonard writes this: I will end with a little scene that took place in the last months of peace. They were the most terrible months of my life, for, helplessly and hopelessly, one watched the inevitable approach of war. One of the most horrible things at that time was to listen on the wireless to the speeches of Hitler, the savage and insane ravings of a vindictive underdog who suddenly saw himself to be all-powerful. We were in Rodmel during the late summer of 1939, and I used to listen to those ranting, raving speeches. One afternoon, I was planting in the orchard under an apple tree Iris reticulata, those lovely violet flowers. Suddenly, I heard Virginia's voice calling to me from the sitting room window, Hitler's making a speech. I shouted back, I shan't come. I'm planting iris, and they will be flowering long after he is dead. I then asked Marissa, what are your irises? What are you planting? What are you cultivating into bloom and fruition?
So, if you know me, you know that on a personal level, my husband Mike and I are very excited because an iris whose name is Sophia is going to be born in the next 3 weeks, not mine. We're going to be grandparents. And so, in the midst of chaos and change and tumult, I hold on to the vision of sweet Sophia that will be coming soon. But as it goes with regard to professional irises, I think that there is this, right? The Fearlessly Authentic AF movement is my professional iris that I have been with the most incredible team, including you. We've been building and developing and bringing friends along for the last 6 years now. The award started 3 years ago, but the company is 6 years old. And, it's been mind-blowing to watch the companies and the people and the supporters that have joined in with us. This was the first time that people who don't know us, who don't know Marissa personally, who've never sat down and had an iced tea with me, have said, holy crap, what you're doing is important, what you're doing matters, and we're going to get on board. And that was really humbling and exciting, because what we are doing is critically important. Celebrating, shining a light, normalizing fearlessly authentic leaders in corporate America, where the power is, where change happens, is what we need to be doing. And to see these different companies and these sponsors and these people being nominated and saying, yes, we agree, we have to lead, we have to act in alignment with our purpose and values. We have to create safe spaces for others to act in alignment with their purpose and values. That's what this is all about, and that's what we're celebrating. Being a leader in that space is hard. We've heard from everybody here. It's scary. It takes courage. Being a fearlessly authentic leader is not that you're not scared. It's that you're scared and you do it anyway. And we need to build that pipeline. So the team has been working for the last 2 years on our Pathways product, which is specifically designed to help these mid-level leaders, this pipeline that we need to develop, step into their fearless authenticity when it comes to delegation and accountability. Step into their fearlessly authentic selves when they're leading teams, when they're going through change, so that they're not just trying to mimic or follow the leadership, book of the month. In the team, and Talia, you're here somewhere, we talk a lot about palm trees, right? There are palm trees. There's these great big tall palm trees, and they sway. The wind comes and they sway, but they don't break. And they don't break because they have great roots, right? And so it's easy for me to sit here and be fearlessly authentic at my own party with people I invited and let in the door. It's much harder, right, when the wind is blowing and when we're facing difficult times. And that's where you are able to, if you are able to tap into those deep roots, those values, those things that you are clear that you care about, it's much easier to stand tall when the winds are blowing.
What does success look like to you? When will you be able to set it down? How will you know that the work that you have done has been enough?
I won't ever believe that this work is done. This is always and forever. And that's why that pipeline is so critical. That's why the team that I am so fortunate to work with every day, they know that I say all the time, this is our company. What are we going to do about it? It will never be done. Never, 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 never. And what we've learned is the minute we put our guard down, the Hitlers of the world come back. I think the real question is, how do you find your own strength? And for people, everybody's got it from a different perspective. For me, it's starting a movement and causing good trouble. For other people, it's writing a postcard or picking up a phone call and calling a congressman, or making a donation to a political cause or a philanthropy or marching, whatever. You don't have to be me. You have to be fearlessly authentic, and you have to understand what you care about, what you're going to fight for, and look inward and do that work. And I just do it my way. That doesn't mean it's the right way.